We're here today to talk about the art of application. When you're applying products, it's really important to apply them in the right way to get the very best out of them. So hopefully you'll pick up a few tips today about getting the right product at the right time in the right place.
You can set out the perfect plan for the week. You can say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'm going to be doing these jobs, Thursday I'm going to come in and do this. But ultimately we're at mercy of the weather. If I want to get one of my operatives outside on a boom sprayer and it's too windy, can't do it. I need to roll it back to the next day. I share some of my staff with other teams if they're needed in other teams. In dispatch, for example, dispatch has to go out, otherwise we're missing orders. And then I just have to try and juggle around. So trying is the operative word. We just do the best we can, juggle people around and try and prioritise as much as we can. All the products we use help with the battle, otherwise we wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use something for the sake of it. Syngenta products help us deal with our day-to-day problems in terms of pest and disease control by being part of the puzzle, being a part of our complete arsenal that we need to use to try and deal with all the problems. Be it choosing something that's going to be persistent, so we know it's going to last for a little while, or being something that's got a 0 harvest interval or something, so we know our selectors can go in and pick it up as soon as we finish doing what we're doing. Syngenta are helping us with the challenges by helping us understand the challenges better and by helping us understand what the products available to us can do to help overcome them. I hope to be able to increase the efficacy of what we're doing and try and be a bit more streamlined in what we're doing, about the right decision making, about using the right thing at the right time in the right place. Anything we can do to improve the quality of work that we're doing, to improve the quality of product, that's going to be valuable to the business.
So when you're applying your product, it's really important to understand the product and what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to target the leaf? Are you trying to target the soil? And it's also really important to think about the wastage and how you can minimise that. Let's have a look. So we're going to have a look at how we target the right area when we're making our applications. If you've got a soil-based application, something that's going to be taken up by the root, you want to be getting that down into the soil here, and you can see with this cauda line how easy that would be with this particular plant. However, move over to this euonymus, got a very dense canopy, so it's going to be quite difficult getting things down through the top, but actually you've got quite a lot of access to that soil still. But if we move over to this hebe, where the soil is just buried, the water volume and to get down through this density is going to prove quite tricky. But if we're trying to target the foliar, so we've got something that we want to coat the leaf and shield it and protect it, then this is quite easy again. You can get it down to the crown quite easily. Naturally, everything's going to want to go down there, so low water volumes would work much better here. The density in this canopy is pretty dense, so getting something in these lower regions is going to be quite tricky. That's going to need quite a bit of thought to make sure we get those covered well. So when we look at this hebe, really dense canopy, lots and lots of leaf there. Soil is pretty much hidden by the leaf canopy too. Foliar applications are quite easy in this environment, although we need a relatively good water volume to cover most of it. We need to think about our droplet size, so we reduce the runoff, because the runoff will end up in the soil, which, assuming you've got a foliar type application, is what you want to avoid. So why is it important to hit the foliar? Well, if you've got a systemic product or even a contact fungicide, it's really important to cover as much of the leaf as possible. So that if it's a contact, it shields that leaf and stops any issues. If it's systemic, it gets well absorbed and it's even. But what we don't want is any of that being wasted and hitting the soil or running off where it won't get used. So if we think about an insecticide, which is a little bit different, really good coverage is important here. Challenging because of the density of these plants, but even more so, you really want to be covering the underside of these leaves. So getting the product all over the leaf, underside of leaf, without losing too much into the soil and around, really tricky, but really important. So when we set up to spray our product, we really want to think about where we want to target that application and where we want to get that product within the plant. Runoff is a real enemy of product retention on the leaf. It's usually associated with higher water volumes, so by reducing the water volumes we can increase the amount we get sticking on the leaf and we'll get better efficacy out of the products. So we recommend you avoid water volumes of over 1,000 litres a hectare, preferably even lower than that. So when you walk around an environment like this, you can see the wide range of application challenges you face. And you're not going to always be able to get everything 100% right, but it's important to go out when you're applying with a set target in mind, Know what you're trying to achieve, make a few conscious compromises about it, and you've got a much better chance of hitting the target you're aiming for. Accurate application demands a serviced and well-maintained sprayer, regular calibration and inspection prior to any use. Now, pressure has a big influence on your droplet sizes, so the higher the pressure, the finer the droplets, the lower the pressure, the coarser the droplets. Now, fine droplets are really good for coverage, but they are highly susceptible to drift. Coarse droplets are really good for penetration, but they are highly susceptible to runoff. So when you're setting your sprayer up, think about setting that pressure up in the optimum range of 2 to 3 bar. Faster forward speed increases the risk of drift, and it also increases the chance of deposition on the front edge of the plant and reduces it on the back edge of the plant. Now, you can compensate for that by slowing the forward speed down and using angled nozzles, which as they spray will hit the back edge of the plant as well, or even the twin jet nozzles, so you've got angles hitting both sides of it.
As a Syngenta, we conduct a lot of application trials all over the world, and we started to do also a lot of research in tree nurseries to get a better efficacy, perhaps less water usage and also less drift. Today we conducted an application trial with a tractor boom sprayer in clematis, and as you can see, it's a real dense crop, and we try to get as much as penetration into the crop as we can. We tried 2 different nozzle types, the Amistar nozzle and the Define nozzle, and we also tried different water volumes, 500 and 1000 liters per hectare. We added the new adjuvant which we are developing to it, Stena. What we tried was an angled spray and a drifty spray, and also in different water volumes to see if we get a better crop penetration and also better coverage. That's really important for the efficacy of the product, of course. People always think that more water volumes give a better penetration into the crop. Also, with more pressure they can achieve a better penetration, but you achieve more drift, and that's what we try to show here in this trial. When you do application trials, it has to be country specific, because every country has its own ways of doing application, its own legislation in doing applications with all different nozzle types and also drift reduction rules they have to apply to in that country. So you see really a lot of differences between all the countries. And that's why we have to do it in the UK, in the Netherlands, in Germany, in Italy, and everywhere we are doing the application trials. We will support the UK growers by a dedicated team in ornamentals. They will try to help them to get a better efficacy by using crop protection products. Of course, the customers are our heart of our achievement. It's really important.